Also describes inadequacy of jobs as triggers for a demographic growth of young, unemployed and underemployed people. The Nigerian Economic Summit with the theme Nigeria 2050 Shifting Gears hopes to find solutions to this problem through constructive engagement.
Shifting Gears emphasizes the imperatives for the economy to move from a more robust competitive private sector while addressing the implications of the projected population of the country hitting 400 million by the year 2050. In this regard, it is only a competitive private sector-led economy that will drive the process of growth and ensure economic prosperity for all Nigerians.
The Economic Summit has held for 25 years now, and its facilitators believe it has helped shape a number of reforms.
The privatization and commercialization of public enterprises was one of the early discussions at the first few summits. The liberalization of the telecommunications sector, and I recall it was probably one of the most heated debates at the second summit, as well as the medium-term plans, such as the National Economic Empowerment and Development Strategy needs in 2003, and the current Economic Recovery and Growth Plan.
The fiscal authorities are sure of taking recommendations from the 25th summit a step further.
So we'll invite the NESG to present the recommendations of the report to the National Economic Council that has all the governors, to the economics management team that has key ministers that manage the economy, to the Federal Executive Council, and also to relevant committees of the National Assembly. That, we believe, will enhance the performance of the implementation of the recommendations.
The 25th Economic Summit will bring together players in the public and private sector, the civil society, the academia, as well as the international community on putting in place a narrative that will set a private sector-led long-term agenda for Nigeria. Lara Afolayan, TVC News, Abuja.
Lara joins me now from Abuja for more on this development. Positioning Nigeria for the fourth industrial revolution is the goal of this year's economic summit. Help us understand what the expected outcomes really are of this meeting.
Okay, this year's economic summit is drawn against the background of predictions by the United Nations that the state of unemployment in Nigeria is going to worsen by the year 2015. By the year 2050. It is bad enough as it is now, but it's really going to worsen by the year 2050. And the Nigerian authorities have to do something to address the situation. And the general perception is that the private sector, particularly in areas of industrialization, could help drive the needed growth in the economy that will create jobs for young people. So this year's summit basically is for the public, private sector and other stakeholders to brainstorm on how to drive growth in the Nigerian industrial sector, particularly the private sector. And the issues to be addressed are issues of infrastructure, taxation, and other issues that affect the growth of the Nigerian private sector. It's not news that the private sector has issues with the doing business climate in Nigeria. Doing business is very challenging. They have to provide their own electricity and also put other fundamentals in place to drive production. So this particular economic summit is hoping to talk about these issues and find solutions to them. And I think it's important to say here that recommendations that come out of this summit are presented to the Nigerian government on an annual basis. It helps.
Okay, talking about recommendations, Lara, the summit apparently has been on for 25 years. Beyond submitting recommendations, how much of impact can we say this summit have brought in the past quarter of 100 years?
Okay, this question is one question that the media asks the organizers of the Economic Summit every year. Of course, it's put together every year by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. And one question the media is always asking is how impactful has this summit been? It's not just about coming here every year, bringing people, members of the local and international community to deliberate on these issues. You come up with recommendations, you give it to the authorities, and we keep saying the same thing, year in, year out. But the organizers of this summit have continued to maintain that a lot of the country's national development plans were shaped by the recommendations from this summit. And we had the finance minister say earlier that, the country's policymakers are moving a step ahead this time around. It's not just about presenting the recommendations from the summit to the Federal Executive Council, which is what has always happened. That you're going beyond, this idea to present these recommendations to other stakeholders in changing the Nigerian narrative. And we're hoping to see the impact more than ever before this time around.
Lara Afolayan is covering the National Economic Summit for us in Abuja. Thank you for